Hey, Matthews. Well, we have just gotten done with translations, and so we are moving on to the next transformation, which is a reflection. So let's get started. All right, let me get my screen set. All right, so a reflection is going to be like a flip. Okay, so I'm going to put that out on the top. Translation was a slide. Reflection is like a flip. And we're going to do several activities. We're going to use mirrors so you can see those reflections. Now, this is a really good picture. If this was a translation, this face would still be, straight up with that smile. But you can see it's being reflected. And this is the x-axis. So sometimes we're going to reflect the picture along the x-axis, and sometimes we'll reflect the picture on the y-axis. Okay, so let's take a look at if the reflection is flipping on the x-axis. All right, so we have a little formula just like we did for translations. You're going to see that if we want to flip it along the x-axis, which is this axis right here, this is the y-axis, the x-coordinate is going to stay the same, but the y-coordinate is going to be its opposite. So let's fill in the chart here. Let's get the pre-image. Remember, always start at 0, 0 to figure out your ordered pairs. So let's get the vertice T, the ordered pair for that. So it's left 1 and up 2. Let's get the R. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the ordered pair is 3, 4. All right, let's get the Y. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's in the first quadrant, so we are positive, positive. So that's our pre-image, and you can see we just have capital letters. We'll go ahead and label after we get our pre-image. So when we're going to reflect, the X stays the same, but the Y is going to be opposite. So I'm just going to fill that in here. And then it's going to be real easy to get our new ordered pairs. So -1 stays the same, but 2 changes to its opposite. 3 stays the same, 4 changes to its opposite. The x2 stays the same, to the y becomes its opposite. All right, so let's go ahead and plot those, and we'll see if it looks like it ends up flipping along the x-axis here. And we would call that our axis of symmetry. So I'm just going to put a dashed line there. If we had a mirror, we could put it there, and I do have mirrors. So you sure can, after we plot this, you can check it out with a mirror. It's kind of cool. For T, we're going to go left 1 and down 2. Now I'm going to label that T prime. For our R, 1, 2, 3, we're still at 3. We're just going the opposite direction. So instead of going up to R, we're going down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to be R prime. And then the Y, do you see how it's 2 away from the x-axis? Well, it's just going to be the opposite. So and you can see that the ordered pair is 2, but then it's -2. And that's going to be Y prime. All right, so I'm going to use my ruler. Just draw nice straight edges here. And you can use a mirror, but you can see if we would actually take this paper and fold it up, this would be right on top of our pre-image. Okay, so that was, again, that was the x-axis. So now we're going to take a look at reflecting it on the y-axis. Now you can see it's the same triangle, so we can use the same ordered pairs. We don't have to spend a lot of time on getting those ordered pairs. Just go ahead and copy them. All right, so let's see what the rule is for reflecting on the y-axis. Oh, okay, this kind of makes sense. A lot of times we have opposites in mathematics. We're going to take the opposite of x, but y is going to stay the same. So I'm just going to fill that out so it kind of helps us just get the right signs on our ordered pairs here. All right, so the opposite of -1 is +1, but then the 2, the y stays the same. Opposite of 3 is -3. The y stays the same. That stays at 4. The 2 becomes its opposite. The y stays the same. All right, let's see what happens on this. So remember, this is the pre-image, and we're trying to get the new image. So let's go with t first. So it wants us to go to 1, 2. Okay, now you can see that the shape is probably going to overlap each other, and that's okay. That's happened sometimes even on a translation. It can happen on any of these. All right, so there's my t prime. R, -3, 4. -3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, I'm going to go ahead and just put a dashed line on the y-axis. That's like my mirror. That's my axis of symmetry. So we can see that we're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's how far away from the mirror we are in both directions. So this is r prime, and we just have to find y prime. So we're going to go -2, +2. And again, you can see we're 2 away from the mirror, 2 away from the mirror. And then just make sure you label it with that prime. Okay, so I'm going to use my ruler, get nice straight edges here on this triangle. And so this one was a little interesting because it did end up overlapping each other. All right, so there we've got it. So now we know how to reflect on the y-axis. Remember, that's your vertical axis and your x-axis, which is your horizontal axis.